What's up, everybody? This is an internal pod. Welcome back to the Creative Department podcast by creators for creators. It's an internal pod today, just myself, and I wanted to kind of update you guys. It's the fourth episode, and I felt like I should be giving you guys a little bit of direction of where this podcast is going. I have a little bit of a tight window in time right now. I have about 25 minutes, so I'm gonna smash this out, and you're gonna go about your day. I'm gonna go about mine, and hopefully you learn something from this. There's a couple things I want to talk about today. I want to dig a little bit deeper and share some of the following. Here's my thoughts on paper. One, I want to talk about what this podcast is and where it's going. Two, I want to talk about the 6-month anniversary of Creative Department coming up. I think when this comes out, it's going to be literally in a couple days after that. I want to talk to you about merch, the sound department, office space, and then I want to get into some more specifics like business stuff that I really enjoy and I geek out on a lot. I want to talk about why starting a small business is never easy, but that should never stop you. I want to speak on tools that I frequently use for my small business. And then I would like to speak about things I'm obsessed with right now. I think it'll go pretty smoothly. If any of those topics interest you, definitely stick around. I feel like I have some good insight. So what this podcast is and where it's going. Obviously, from the first 3 episodes, we've been interviewing creators, or I've been interviewing creators. The first one, Dom, he's a podcast host and a really good friend of mine. I thought he was a very great first guest for this podcast because it's essentially that's what this is, a podcast. And he has a lot of good insight. And not only that, we have really good energy and we kind of bounce and riff off of each other really well. Second episode, I had Soph on. She's a killer, social media killer, TikTok, Instagram. And I think that, again, we have really good synergy. And she has a lot of good insight as well. I am stumbling over my words here. But yeah. The third episode, I had Mason on, kills TikTok. A little bit different pace of an episode, only because it's a little bit deeper about kind of mental health side of TikTok and specifically men's mental health. It's pretty funny. A large majority of his demographic is women. I would presume so because at least that's what we talked about of them being in the comments. But I think I want to keep interviewing creators. I have a long list of people behind me. I don't know if you could see it. I hope not. But I do want to start bringing those people on. And I've talked to a lot of those people and scheduled them out already. And it's going to keep getting better and better. I think that with time, that's kind of how anything goes about. I really do want to become a better speaker, and I've really been practicing on that. I realized that I do say like often in these videos, and I've began to correct myself more going forward. Hopefully, I'm doing a better job right now. The 6-month anniversary of, regardless though, if you are a listener to this, I really appreciate you even remotely stopping by. And if you're listening on Spotify, definitely give it a follow, rate it. That'd be super awesome. I think that I am surprised at the analytics because I really expected a lot of people to go directly to my YouTube channel, but that seems to not be the case at all. I think like 95% of you guys are going directly to Spotify. So that's amazing. I'm down to double down over there. So thank you guys. I really do appreciate it. I have a lot of fun doing this, and I think that every couple episodes in between, I'll do an internal podcast like this. For the future of this pod, I do want to bring back Soph and Dom as co-host when we are interviewing other people. I think that they have a lot of good insight. I think they have a lot of good personality, and I love them. You guys seem to love them a lot, and I think it'd be super kick-ass for them to just kind of jump on and off random episodes. I think it'd be dope. And I've already spoke to them about that already, and they're hyped. I want to speak about next the 6-month anniversary of Creative Department. I really want to say I don't know how I got here. I started this back in really October. I went full send on it during November. And basically what Creative Department is, for those of you that still don't know, it's a video production company. And primarily we're helping out, we have a team now, and I was helping out small businesses, people in the real estate industry, and it's grown really fast, really quickly. I mean, back in November, I had 2 clients, and then that grew to December all the way up to 7 clients, and then that grew to 16. Now we're at 23. And I think we're actually reaching the cap of clients right now at 25. I thought the cap was 20, but I think the ceiling is 25. That's where bandwidth becomes compromised, at least internally for ourselves. I think of myself, I think of us as like brick workers. It's just laying a solid brick down every single day. You see people with small businesses try and lay down 3 to 5 bricks every day, and it gets messy. The bricks aren't straight. The foundation is not as solid. And so that's all I want to do every single day is lay down one really, really good brick. Luckily, over the years, I have been doing this not for myself and as an employee for so many years that I've learned a lot of tools to where learned how to do things super efficiently when it comes to merchandise, when it comes to email marketing, when it comes to like Google Sheets, all this stuff, finances, pricing. I've done all this stuff. So I really am able to do things super quickly in a timely manner, efficiently, and done right the first time. Huge. Super huge. So 6-month anniversary of Creative Department. A couple days after this, it's dope. I want to keep going. I can't believe it's already a half a year, which is weird. I feel like essentially you're unemployed, but it's like you're employing yourself. And it's, my small business. I always knew I wanted to get here. It never was easy. It never felt good or right. It never felt like my time until it did. And that was the most important factor. A lot of people don't ever wait their turn, which is huge. You got to wait your turn. And when you are waiting, prepare. Put so much into preparation, learning the skills, so that way it becomes unquestionable why it is you're so good at what you do. I'm infatuated with it. Creative Department's only going to keep going. I spoke on here that I want to talk about Office Space a little bit. It's March, about to turn April, and we were looking at Office Space back last month at the beginning of March, or at the end of February, beginning of March, and we were in non-binding negotiations with a couple of spots out in like Convoy and stuff like that, but we have some really good stuff in the works for August. I know that's a super far timeline down the road, but I think it's well worth it to wait. It wasn't anything in particular. The building that we're headed into is still being built a little bit. And so I think it's the perfect place for us, for Creative Department. And I want to elaborate on it more, and I will in the future when that time comes. I want to do something big. It's going to be a collaborative space with a bunch of other people in it. It's not going to be my own studio. But it's going to be really, really good, and I can get into those details later. But just know we're growing, and it's going really, really well. If you follow the Creative Department Instagram, you noticed that last week I posted Sound Department. That was a Spotify playlist. If that interests you, definitely go and check it out. I'm probably going to be doing those maybe like once every 2 weeks, once every week. I don't know. I really like music in general as well, like a lot of you guys do. And so I want to keep doing stuff for fun and for free because that's like what makes, me keep going and makes things fun and light. All right, merch. So you've been kind of saying hats a lot. That was kind of my main theme at the end of last year was the trucker hats, the brown ones, the blue ones. Recently we have dad hats, and I made a mechanic's jacket for myself. I don't think that we're going to be selling that necessarily, but I've been trying to figure out the merch because people have been very interested, and it's very difficult to do small runs of merch. So I finally finished my Shopify. If you guys are listening and you want to support, you can go over to the Shopify. It's just creativedep.agency, and you can shop there. It's print on demand. So essentially, it's going to be printed at a facility the minute you buy it, and then it's shipped out directly to you. So that way I can focus on doing video and focusing on my clients and focusing on bringing them value. And so that way it's not as much of a pivot to go out of my way to like ship. Not that I don't like doing any of that stuff, but it's very tedious in small runs. And I appreciate you guys wanting to support. It does mean a lot. But now you can, and now I can fulfill those items on time and not be late and shipping 3 weeks, 4 weeks later, a month later, 2 months later. Yeah, that's pretty much it with merch. So if you want to go over there, I mean, definitely feel free to cop a hat. I want to jump into why starting a small business is never easy, but that should never stop you. It's very encouraged to do your own thing, right? But it's never easy. There's so many aspects of a business that you have to think about. And the fact of just not having that reoccurring paycheck every week is a huge thing. So I don't get paid every Friday. I get paid very randomly when I do gigs. And I try and line those gigs up when I know that kind of bills are coming. And so I call them gigs, but it's essentially like my clientele, right? And there's so many aspects of business that goes into it. There's the finance part. There's recruiting, like your clientele. You have to do the meat and potatoes of it. And for me, it's filming. Then there's editing. And then it's maintenance, it's revision, it's systems that are in play, such as Dropbox, and those are subscription fees. There's so much that goes into it, whatever it is that you're doing. If you want to be an esthetician, if you want to be a barber, if you want to be a massage therapist, there's these service jobs that are super difficult. It's not like a product. You're not selling a good. It's something that you have to keep doing all the time. And I've always heard by people that own service businesses, they're like, I would never get into a service-based business again. But I think and I always was like, I'll come up with a good to sell. I'll never sell a service probably. And here I am selling a service. It's pretty funny. But I think that this is a foundation that I love to do. And it gives me the ability to do the things like this, podcasting, which I enjoy a lot of as well. And also to the free time. It gives a lot of free time. There's no one there telling you like, hey, you need to clock in and start working. You either have to do it or you're not working and no money comes in. It's a very hard thing. You're either working on the weekends, you're working after hours, like 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m. And then it's like, so then don't feel bad about whatever, not working in the morning, not working until 10, 11. It's a give and take thing, and there's no set hours. So it's a little bit weird. I would like to say that I had a lot of startup capital when I started, but I didn't. I think I only had around like 3,500 when I started in startup capital. So it wasn't anything too crazy. I think I lived off that, and that was fine, and that got me out through, which is really all I needed. Gotta have the bills paid, that's for sure. So if I were to say anything about this, it's just that you really have to keep trying. And I think that I've spoken to Josh, my girlfriend's brother, and we talk about this all the time. He has his own business. I asked him what's one piece of advice that he would give somebody that's looking into starting their own small business, and he replied, it's such a simple answer. It's such a simple but hard question to answer. Don't let other people's opinions stop you from what you believe in, and at the end of the day, you and only you will determine if you succeed or fail, which I totally agree with that. You're going to know. You're going to know because it's all on you. Whether regardless of people are in your ear, it's hard to make decisions with people in your ear. So many people are trying to give you advice all the time, unwanted, wanted, and it's difficult. And you have to really learn how to filter out specific people, filter out bad advice from the internet, from your peers. I say from the internet because the internet will always convince you that you have problems that you don't have. I say that all the time. It's like procrastination. It's like, oh, you don't have a good sleep schedule. You're not up at 4:30 a.m. It's huge. It makes you feel guilty. And same thing with your peers. Same thing with your peers that also, you got to think about the framework that they don't do it. Not only do they not do it, but they'll implement the things that they know on you who is currently doing it, it's huge. And you really have to just focus on where the information is coming from. that was a little bit more like deeper than I like would wanted to dive into that, but I think it's important. If you ever need any help, definitely feel free to use me as a resource as well. I'm a DM or a text away. But yeah, I want to move on a little bit. I only have a couple more minutes left. Tools that I frequently use for my business. I want to first off by saying this regarding clients. Referral is still the greatest marketing tool to date. Everything comes second. Referral is number one. Every single client I have either been a previous client or a referral client. That's huge, right? So it's about leaving a really good impression with the clients that you've already had, because they will pass on your word. Like, they'll pass on your name. And it's important to share your value prop with them and give them the exact words that they need to refer you. It's like, oh, what is Alfred? What does he do? What is creative department? Like, oh, okay, cool. It's a high production, it's a high quality video production agency that specializes in short form content. Like, oh, okay, cool. I know exactly what it is. I can like pass on that sentence. The second thing that I kind of use, I really rely on in this business, is Google Sheets. I could use a lot of different tools for this. QuickBooks. I could use a lot of different database CRM tools. For myself, and at the size that we're at right now, I heavily utilize Google Sheets. I've became extremely good with Google Sheets over the last year. So I have a bunch of formulas connecting, different pages inside of one sheet specifically, where I have a dashboard with the percentages of my clients, how much their lifetime spend is, who's my biggest clients, what the biggest job type that I do is, whether it's photography, video. I know down to the percent of where I need to focus and who needs the most time, and where I really need to be focusing a lot of my energy and communication skills with. Super important. Could a CRM accomplish this? Yes. I think I just like use Google. I like to use Google Sheets because it's free, and it's really easy to start racking up finances and subscriptions and licensing fees when you're first starting off, because you think, oh, this program will do it for me. Oh, this program will do it for me. When in reality, you have to focus on using the free tools at hand. Will there be a time when we're scaling up hundreds of clients? Yeah, I believe so. And then these Google Sheets might be a little bit more difficult to run, but for now, I think that, and the foreseeable future, I think I'll be perfectly fine. I've been really, this is getting into things I've been obsessed with, really. Tools that I frequently use, though. I've been into email marketing heavily. If you're listening to this and you're a real estate agent, or you're a lender, or you're anybody in the real estate business, you might have got an email from me. A week ago, I sent out an email to the top 500 agents in San Diego, for like just promoting my business and stuff like that, and showing them what I offer. I created a funnel on my Squarespace that you can't really see unless you have the exact URL. So that way I could funnel in clients. As soon as they click on the link in the email, I have their information. I know who clicked. I'm already kind of stalking you via Instagram or whatever. But I'm so good at email marketing. It's crazy good. When this comes out, actually, no, today when I'm shooting this, I have an email going out to every single agent in the San Diego County with a real estate agent license, with a DRE number, MLS. Huge, which is like 15,800 something. So it's about increasing the pool size too, if you want like a better click-through rate or whatever it is, right? As far as the email marketing goes, if anybody cares about this, I think statistically within the first 24 hours, you should have at least 40% open. 8 out of 20. If you send it to 20 people, 8 people should have opened it. This is how you know you have a good database. And by the end of the week, 16 people should have opened it out of 20. So essentially it's a 40 kind of minimum 60 rule. 40% should be opened within the first day, 60 by the end of the week. That's a really good database. If you have an extremely good database, you'll have 50% open rate by the first day, and then somewhere between 60 to 70% open rate by the end of the week. That's how to determine if you have a good database. Nerd stuff, but yeah, that's what I geek out on. I only have a few more minutes here. So things that I'm obsessed with right now, this is like the Alfred Romero kind of side of things. I'm really obsessed with reading right now. To be frankly honest with you, I wasn't a big reader growing up, And I recently have gotten into it at the top of this year, unintentionally, but yes. I don't know what it is. I like reading biographies, autobiographies specifically. I just posted the Steve Jobs one. I really enjoy that one by Walter Isaacson. I don't know what his name is. And then I'm reading Be Here Now by Ram Dass as well. That one's really huge, very spiritual. But yeah, 2 books by the first quarter. That feels really good to me. I've never really done that before. I'm obsessed with podcasting. I love talking to people, essentially. Like that, I love bringing people on and hearing their story because I want to learn. I love learning. Learning is huge to me. I spend so much time on YouTube watching like business podcasts, finance podcasts. I think like I really geek out on that stuff, and I think a lot of you guys do too. So I think you like hearing other people's stories. Let me know. I mean, definitely, I would love the feedback. And yeah, I think I'm also obsessed with just growing my business right now. Creative department is number 1 on my plate, and everything else kind of follows suit. So that's huge. Health and wellness. So I've been kind of super psychotic about running, meditating, stretching, jiu-jitsu, everything that has to do with that. I barely recently started jiu-jitsu again. I've only been active for about 2. This is my 3rd week now. And I'm having a really fun time with it. I want to rank up. I'm putting it in the air that I want to, go for my blue belt in the next like 2 to 4 years, and just really working diligently and yeah, it's showing up week after week. I think that's huge for me. Running, Ave and I are running the Rock and Roll on June 3rd and June 4th. If you guys want to come down and support or sign up and run the 5K with us on the 3rd, that would be awesome too. I think it'll be a good time. But yeah, that's kind of like the stuff that's going on in my brain, in my world. I know it feels a little bit scattered, and I feel I just needed to jump on here really quick and just kind of get some of my words out. But I have a lot of gratitude for all of this that's going on. I think that you should definitely do the things you want to be doing. And it's hard because you need discipline. Like if you can't rely on motivation, because some days I don't feel motivated. There's days that I just drag, but if you're disciplined, then you'll feel good enough to complete it. I think that a lot of people want to do these things, and they feel that they want to do these things independently, and you should trust that feeling. You should definitely trust that feeling. Everybody has a different route, and I hope that you guys find yours. I appreciate you guys listening. I know this wasn't really a creator podcast so much. I mean, maybe it is a creator. It was a creator episode. It was myself. That's kind of the things that I focus on. I really appreciate it if you've even got this far. So I want to leave you guys with a quote from Josh as well. Yeah. A lot of people are like pasta. They feel the heat and they get soft. That's from Big Joe on TikTok. So I'll leave you guys with that. Thank you. I appreciate every single one of you guys. And I hope to see you guys next week with a new guest. And yeah, you'll hear from me maybe every 3 episodes. All right, cool. Bye, guys.